My name is Nicole Bruno, and for this task I am going to prepare a blood film slide for stain and evaluation. So first, here is my identification. Here is my OCCI certification, which hangs on the wall right next to you. So for this task it requires goggles, gloves, and a lab coat. So I'm first going to put everything on. Here are my goggles, my gloves, and my lab coats. So now you want to wear these for your own protection, of course. Okay. So first what you want to do is you want to obtain your blood sample, which I have already done. So here's my blood sample. It is in an EDTA tube. You want to gently invert it 4 to 6 times to make sure that the EDTA is properly distributed. So I'm just going to set this down over here. So there are certain ways to hold the base slide, microscope slide. So first there's the handheld method. So you have the frosted side here. You want to hold it with your thumb and your index finger on the other side. So this is the handheld method. Then there is the tabletop method, where you just hold the corner of one frosted edge of the tube, like so. So what you want to do to put your drop of blood onto the slide is you want to take out a capillary tube. I'm going to then obtain a small amount of blood from my blood tube. Like so. Then I'm just going to apply one drop onto my tube. I'm going to apply it near the frosted side of the tube. There is my one drop. Okay? So I'm just going to pause the video so you get a closer look of me spreading the blood onto the tube. So here I have my slide. As you can see, the droplet is about 1 centimeter away from the frosted edge. So what I'm going to do to make my slide is take my spreader slide. I'm going to hold it at a 30 to 45 degree angle. I'm going to bring it back into the tip of the blood and push it forward. So I'm going to bring it back and push it forward. So here's my blood slide here. So as you can see, it takes up about 2/3 or half of the microscope slide, which is what we want. You want to make sure that the film appears to have a gradual transition from the thicker part of the body to the feathered edge, which is what mine has. And you want to make sure there's that monolayer. So that is where we're going to read the cells. So this is important because this is where the distribution of cells is. And the monolayer is again where we read it. So the monolayer dries the fastest, and this is where the cells are widespread. So this is where you're going to get your most accurate reading. So now that I have my slide, I'm going to allow it to dry with the butt end down. So I'm just going to prop it up. And we're going to leave it to dry, and then we will stain it. So my blood slide is all dry. I am now going to begin staining my slide. So there are 3 steps in the staining process. There's the first step, the fixative, second the eosin, and third the methylene blue. So what we want to do is for each step we want to do 10 1-second dips into each substance. So my slide is all dry, like I said. I'm just going to use my little handle here. Just loosen these. So again, I'm going to do 10 1-second dips in the fixative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going to do 10 1-second dips in the eosin. Second phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to do 10 1-second dips in the methylene blue, the last step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we are going to move on to the rinse. So the last step is we are going to rinse our slide with distilled water with the butt end down. So this is my distilled water jug here. So I'm just going to place it in a smaller little container just so it's easier for me to rinse with. Okay. Just going to get my slide. So here's my slide here. So I'm rinsing with the butt end down. Going to rinse it with distilled water. Okay. We have a nice stained slide here. So I am now going to set my slide to dry. Again, I'm going to leave it drying with the butt end down. And once we're finished drying, we can label our slide. So I have my slide here and it is all finished drying. So lastly, I'm going to label it on the frosted end with the patient's ID, species, and date. So ID is 26453, species K9, date 5/28/2017. So here's my slide, all labeled, stained, and ready to be seen under the microscope. So we are all set with our task.